Welcome to an example, which we have root of x plus root of y equals 10, and they want us to do the derivative, find y prime of 16 by implicit differentiation. Implicit means y is not alone, right? Clearly, y is not alone. So how do we do it? Well, the first thing I would do is I would do a rewrite. I would make this to the zero point 0.5 or half. I know some people like decimals better, so I'll just do decimal. 0.5, half, right? Square root of anything is a half power. Okay, do that first. Now, take the derivative of both sides. The same thing to both sides. All right. So how do we take the derivative of this side? Well, the 0.5 comes down. Subtract 1 from the power minus 0.5 plus the 0.5 comes down. Subtract 1 from the power minus 0.5. But that's not all. Because the inside is not a simple x like that was. We have to do the chain rule. And what's the chain rule says? Y prime times y prime. And the other side, the derivative of a constant number not multiplied by anything, it doesn't have an x at all, it's just zero. Remember that? The derivative of a plain number alone that's not multiplied by any x's is just zero. So this makes sense here. What happened right here? Remember, y is not the same as x. Y is a function of x. So when we do the derivative, we bring down right here, we bring down the 0.5, subtract 1 from the power, but then the inside is not a simple x. Clearly, it's a y. So the chain rule says if the inside is not a simple x, then you got to multiply by the derivative of the inside, y prime. Whereas here, the inside was a simple x, so I don't have to do the chain rule. All right. So now we just solve for right here. We just solve for y prime. So I'm just going to jump this guy to the other side. So I get 0.5 y to the minus 0.5 times y prime equals negative 0.5 x to the minus 0.5, right? When something jumps to the other side over here, it switches signs. I really just subtracted that from both sides. Okay. So last step, how do we get y alone? We're trying to get y prime, right? We're trying, well, not quite last step, but getting closer. We're trying to find y prime. We want y prime. So I'm going to have to divide both sides by 0.5 y to the minus 0.5. Whatever you do to one side, you have no choice but to do the same thing to the other. Boom, boom. Okay, so there's y prime. Y prime is now alone. It is. Well, it's this. Okay, we got y prime. Now, what do they want us to do? They want us to find y prime of 16. So now plug in 16 for x. What, right? Because that's x. What do we plug in for y? Well, right here, remember, this this is x, this is y. I know that might be weird. You're like, well, Sharon, this is y. Because remember, y is like a function. It's like f of x. Remember, y values are function values. So this, y of 16 is the same thing as saying f of 16. Oops. That's an x. And what it equals is y. So that's saying x is 16, y is 36. X is 16, y is 36. So then we get minus 0.5, 16 to the minus 0.5 over 0.5 and 36 to the minus 0.5. Um, just that. You can just hit the buttons on Desmos. I'm gonna do this one by hand just for fun. Boom, boom, these cancel. What do negative powers do? Do you remember what a negative power does? It means the whole thing jumps to the side, and this whole thing jumps up there. Negative powers are unhappy where they're at. They're negative. They want to jump to the other side. So then we get 36. And then after they jump, they become happy, positive. They're at a new job, a new side of the fraction. Bottom is now 16, and that's going to be positive 0.5. That makes sense. That's what negative powers always do. They're unhappy where they're at. They want to jump to the other side. Then they become positive and happy. Oh, and I lost the negative sign in the front, didn't I? This guy right here. Don't forget him. All right. Now, what is 36 to the 0.5 power? Well, that's the same thing as square root 36. Remember that? A half power. This is the same as a half power, right? Half power is a root. This is the root of 16. So y prime then is negative 6 over 4 divided by 2, top and bottom. Y prime is negative 3 halves or negative 1.5. You want to do a decimal. There we go. You can just type it into decimals. I just wanted to do it by hand for fun. Was it fun? All right. There we go.